Welcome to my studio. I am here as part of the 7-day live streaming challenge hosted by our friends at Smart Passive Income and the team at Ecamm. And I thought, you know what? I've never really actually all the way through participated in a live streaming challenge. I go live pretty often these days, but I don't often do a challenge. So I thought I would just suck it up and jump on here and talk through some of my favorite Ecamm features. And if any of you pop on and want to ask any questions about anything in the world of live streaming, video production, podcasting, anything in between, I would take any and all of those questions as well. But I am going to go out today, or hopefully I'm going out today to LinkedIn, YouTube, and my Facebook. So I'm just going to do a quick test here to see if everything is working. Looks like it is. Awesome. All right, I see some hearts coming through. So thank you so much. Hey, Tristan, thanks for hanging out with me today. I am literally just in a state of play. I'm prepping for my podcast, which is coming up on Thursday. And I thought, you know what? I'll just prep publicly and then I can check the box. I'm participating in this challenge as well. So let me know if any questions come up, if you want to know how to use Ecamm, if you want to know anything in between. I'm going to jump over here into Ecamm's live demo mode because I want to walk through some of the cool new features. Ecamm has just been rolling out a ton of features, and there's some really fun ones that I've become kind of obsessed with. So I thought I would just take this time to walk through some of them. So here we are in live demo mode. I'm going to be a little OCD here and move my windows all around, all around. But my first favorite feature is this here in the main screen. You can see, if I minimize this window here, that my main window is now a little bit bigger. Over this way, you can see that now there is a wide version of me, and then there is this vertical canvas as well. So this is called dual mode. This is one of Ecamm's newest features. And it's funny, I probably use, I don't know, maybe like a quarter of Ecamm's features in what I do personally. But this one has been a really big deal for me because it saves me a ton of time. So I wanted to show you here in my scenes what this looks like. So this feature basically allows me to fully customize and plan for my podcast, the VHS Club. I can now do it and plan for a horizontal video file that's done, fully produced, looks awesome, and then a vertical one as well. So I don't have to worry about making any tweaks or edits to the vertical file later, which I use for clipping and repurposing, which I know many of us do here. So if I come on over here, these are my scenes. This is another cool feature I want to show you while I'm over here. Ecamm scenes window, which are kind of like slides in a presentation, pages in a book. There's a ton of different ways to describe it, but it's always been this list, which I actually like in some ways because it's easy. Kind of, I don't have a lot of scenes in here, as you can see. I have a countdown timer. I have movie talk, which is the majority of my show. I actually added this one last week. I don't even need this one anymore, but it's here. Photos, and then I have my review, and then my call to action and my wrap. But now you can come on over here, and if I click this, I actually have this visual. I'm going to close my Zoom one. I have this visual scenes window as well that I can make as big as I want. So this could actually like sit down here, and then I could move my sound levels maybe up here, for example. So that lets me see things a little bit more visually, which is kind of nice. So if I swing over here into my second, this one has music, so I'm not going to play this one and drive you all crazy. But if I come over here into this one, so you can see now I can design exactly how I want it to look, and I can drag and drop in any different kind of elements. And I've actually simplified this a lot because I used to have the movie box in here, but then I had to change that every single week. So now it's actually really simple and really easy. So all that I ever really check for are these comment overlays. So I can come over here, and I can add a placeholder comment overlay in here and see what it'll look like. And then here, if I click Tristan's comment, you can see it comes in exactly like that. And I don't, as you can see, have it in the vertical canvas, but I could if I wanted to. I feel like comments are kind of hard to see over here, but you could definitely, actually, let's try it. Can I drag it over into the vertical canvas? Oh, I can, but it's funky sized. I'd have to shrink it down so I can see. And then if I come over here to the left, I might want to come down here and what if I make it, yeah, see if I make it dynamic. But see there, I feel like comments are just kind of they're too big for the vertical canvas. So for the most part, I can have them just come here. Oh, now I've messed with it. Come here onto the side. Let me shrink it down. All right. Hey, Jeff, how's it going? I know it is easy. It is easy. And if you're just jumping on, I'm participating in a 7-day live streaming challenge. So our friends over at Smart Passive Income and the team over at Ecamm, we're doing a full 7-day live streaming challenge. So the idea is just to go live every single day for 7 days. Doesn't matter what the topic is, doesn't matter if no one's watching. The idea is just to get to practice and feel how it feels to be live. And so if you're participating, you can share your links with me. I'd love to see them. You can share them in the Ecamm community, ecamm.tv/community. That will drop you into that group. And yeah, or you can tag Ecamm or you can tag SPI or Pat Flynn. We'd love to see how you guys are performing. But I was running out of time today and I thought, you know what? I'm just gonna do it and walk through some of my different scenes. Look how organized it is in here. It used to be like a giant mess, but I actually relabeled everything and I made my scenes all clean. This was my photos one from last week where I took away our video boxes and we were talking about Shakespeare in Love. So I had my photos from the Globe Theater and me and Shakespeare, but I can actually delete that scene now because I don't need it anymore. So I'm just going to come in here and delete it. There we go. Now it's even cleaner. You can see I didn't even name this one, but this can just be called Just Me over here. But this is the new, if you haven't seen it yet, this is the new scenes view. And so you can view it visually like this, and you can actually make these like even bigger if you want. If you're like me and you're a little bit blind, you can make them really big and have kind of that visual box, or you can go back to this grid view as well. Which honestly, like, I kind of like the grid view too, because you can move it around a little. It fits in more places, but you can easily toggle back and forth between the two. I'm not a folder gal, but you could also add folders and things in this view. They just show up that way, but it's kind of fun to get to see the visual side of it. My potato readings. Boo-boo! Yeah, it's kind of fun to get to flow through. So this is the scenes window, and then this is dual mode again. And it's cool because you can really do a lot with it. What I've been doing lately, and this is a shout out to the one and only Doc Rock, but so here normally it's guest one. So this is my co-host who calls in is guest number one. But what you can come up here and do, let me see if I can remember how to do it. Yeah, if you come up to the video source, so instead of defining it by one of the placeholder cameras or like guest one, for example, I can come down here to zoom active speaker. And this is going to be big for me so the show I'm doing this Thursday, we have myself and my co-host Nat, and then we have 3 guests joining. So it's going to look pretty crazy. So if I'm designing it, you know what the heck, let's design it, right? We're here, we're on. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. Let me get rid of my sound levels. I'll put that down at the bottom. So, okay, so I need to think through what this is going to look like. So for this, 5 of us total. So I'm going to keep the vertical like this. And what this is going to do is me on top, because it's my show. And then this active speaker, any of the other guests or Nat, my co-host, whenever they speak, they're going to fill into this little box here. So that will keep it from looking too crazy and busy in the vertical feed, because if I was to try to fit 5 boxes in here, it would just be chaos. So I'm not going to bother with that. This will keep it really clean. So that's done. That's exactly how it's going to look. No comments, just kind of a nice clean feed. And then here in the horizontal view, I think what I'm going to want to do, you know what? I'm going to duplicate this scene because I always do this and I want to keep this for next time. Okay, so I'm going to come over here into this one, the copy, and then I'm going to call this one multiple hosts, multiple people, lots of people. Let's call it lots of people. All right, I'm going to come down here and I got to figure out like how we have 5 of us and it doesn't look like garbage. So let's see here. if I press the Option key, I can drag this across. So let's try this. All right, 3, and then 2. Maybe that looks okay. And then I could have, maybe it's Nat and me and Nat at the bottom. And then we can come up here and it can be guest 2, and that'll be John. And then it can be guest 3, Pete. And guest 4, Mark. So that doesn't look awful. And then I can come down here, and if I grab a comment overlay, placeholder overlay to add in, it might still be wonky from, oh no, it's okay. Not too bad. So that's not awful. It like kind of covers me up a little bit and that, but that's not the end of the world. That'll look good. I do have this like blank space over here. I wonder what I guess I could put the movie box over there eventually. I don't have that right now, but I could add that in. So that's a decent look. So I could do that. And then if I come over here, I can duplicate this scene again. And I can make this one the lots of people review scene. All right. Oh, I did that. Oh no, I did that right. Okay, cool. If I come over here. So this I'm going to have to add some potatoes too, right? So I guess we can come over here. And then if I think this works. If I just highlight over top of this potato and I hit Command C to copy, I think if I come back over in the scene and hit Command V, it'll paste. And then I can just option it over. So let's assume usually, actually we can put all our potatoes here. Usually it's usually a 5 potato movie. If I'm being honest, we never ever review ones that we hate. We should, but we don't. So there's 5. And then I got to pull them over here onto this vertical scene as well. So I'm just going to come over here, but I'm going to make them a little bit smaller. And then I can just kind of like overlap them. And if you're just jumping on, I know people are kind of coming in and out because this is just a pop-up live stream, but I'm participating in Pat Flynn and SPI's live streaming, 7-day live streaming challenge. So I'm going live every single day this week. Knowing me, it's probably going to all be at different times because my schedule is kind of busy this week. But I'm going to do it because I committed to doing it. So here I am. And I'm just going to walk through some of my favorite features, and I'm taking any questions. So if you're hanging out on, today I'm going out to LinkedIn, my newish personal YouTube channel, and my personal Facebook. So if you're on any of those and you have any questions, you can just throw them in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer them here live. And if you ask me a comment or question later and I don't see it, I will answer it just in the chat later, or I'll follow up with you. But happy to answer any questions. And you can ask me anything about Ecamm, about live streaming, podcasting, favorite movies, whether I like ducks or chickens better, favorite cities to visit, whatever you want to ask. Happy to take any questions. And I'm walking through Ecamm as well and kind of showing some of my favorite scenes. See, and then this has been driving me crazy because I'm just copying and pasting. It's like changes the names for everything, which is kind of silly, but you know what? I've been trying to keep more organized, so we'll just rename these all potato. It doesn't really matter. They can all just be potato. And then I need to add my sound effect. So I think I closed my sound effect window. So I'm going to come over here to window, and I'm going to find my sound effects. There it is. I'm going to pop it up here. And then this one just has the applause sound effects. I'm just going to drag that over here. Oh, you know what? And I have it muted on the scene. There we go. Okay, so now if I come, so I'm going to drag let me shrink this down a bit so I can see this a bit easier. I'm going to drag the movie one after, you know what? Maybe it's going to come all the way to the bottom. Yeah, to the end. So I'm going to go countdown timer, group shot review. So this one's also going to come down to the end. This I'm just saving because usually it's just me and a co-host on for this show. But the one I'm doing this week has a bunch of guests. So I'm prepping for that here. So then this one's going to stay the same. This one I'll have to update the movie cover, but generally will be the same. And then this one here at the end, I might mess with afterwards. It has like all the videos in the background. So I'll have to pull this style over. But that's generally it. And that takes me, I've been on for maybe 10 minutes to set up this show. And I have now the format good to go. So I have my vertical video ready. So I'm just going to literally send that directly through to Opus right from Ecamm when I'm done. It'll just go directly over into Opus. And I won't need to do any editing because it's literally formatted and designed the way I want. It's just going to use AI to catch all the best moments. So my clips are done before I even start the show. And then I have all of my sound effects good to go. And then all of my guests good to go. And if you're just joining now, I actually went in here, which is a Doc Rock pro tip, but I changed this so you can see like the show is going to have all 5 of us on screen at once, chatting and hanging out. But on the vertical video, it's only going to have me. And then this one is whoever is talking is going to show up in this box. So this will keep the vertical feed a lot cleaner. So I'm still checking out the boxes without needing to do any editing, but it's not going to look crazy. And there's not going to be a ton of cropping and chaos that I have to create there, which is really nice, all things considered. All right, I'm going to jump back over here. I don't see any other questions coming through, so I'm only going to stay on for a little bit longer. But if any questions come in, I promise you I will answer them. I'm usually pretty good about that. So send me a note, send me a DM, ask any questions you want. But this is what Ecamm looks like if you're brand new and you're like, what the heck, Katie? I have all the windows open. This is the latest version of Ecamm. And the new things that we're looking at today are this dual mode. So you can see my horizontal canvas and my vertical canvas that I can design in. And then you can see I've also been looking at these new scene view. So I can have just the list, which is kind of what it's always been, or this view where I can make these little videos as clean as possible so I can visually see what I'm going next to, which is kind of fun to be able to do that. Then what else can I show you? I planned for my overlays. So I always come up here and I come into the placeholder comment. This is where you can choose if you want to show it in both canvases or just one or the other. So here, if I went add to both, it'll show you how it shows up in both. And you can see it's always like a little bit too tight for this one. I can come over here, maybe in. I can mess with it a bit. If I come in, I don't usually put comments on this canvas, but technically speaking, you can. It's gonna time out in a second here. You know, like that. I just want to pull it so it. Shrink. Worse. All right, I'm getting rid of it. Doesn't make sense there. Okay, so that'll help comments come through there. All right, I mean, those are my 2 like main new feature loves at the moment. And then I honestly like a lot of the features I like in Ecamm are the basic ones. Like I love scenes because it's so easy to plan things out. Like all my presentations I plan out in advance. Any video that I make, any live stream, I get it to exactly how I want it to look. And then it's super easy. Oh, you know what the other one was that they asked about for the show? Let's do this. All right, so, and I think they wanted it early on in the stream. So I'm going to come over here into this scene. I'm going to duplicate this one. If you're just joining me, this is an open, I'm just hanging out, part of a live streaming challenge. So I'm going live every day, and you're welcome to ask any questions you want about this or anything else. Happy to answer anything. I'm coming over here into duplicating the scene. So now I have a copy of this one, and I'm going to call this one, I forget if it's a wheel. Let's call it wheel for right now. Wheel of Wonder. But what I'm going to do is another hidden feature in Ecamm that I really love, but many people don't know about. And you know what? I'm just going to so it's called a widget overlay. So over here in the overlays menu at the top, there's a bunch of ways to get here. You can come up here to the overlays menu, or you can come into like the little overlays window. I like it up here personally, but you do you. Come over in here, and then I'm going to go to widget overlay. And then you can literally, you can see the last one I did was a Roger Ebert review. You can come over here. So, and then I think their website is ifthiseballscouldtalkpod.com. If these balls could talk podcast. All right, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to add the widget overlay. This is adding in an entire website over top. So now I think I'm just going to remove all of these. Woo. So the guys who I'm bringing on the show this week, they want to do one of their segments where I think it's this one up here. So I'm just going to click this little hand. I know it's small. This little hand here. If you click it on, you can actually interact with things on the site. Yeah, see? So what I want here is this wheel. So I could, if I hold down the option key, I can actually crop it in, and that might make more sense. So we just have like the wheel and not anything else here. So this is just the wheel. All right, I'm going to take this off for a sec. Oop. And then I can put this maybe up here in this corner. And then I want to interact with it again so I can scroll to just where the wheel is. All right, and then let's click to spin. Let's see. All right, which actor or actress will you always see? All right. Okay, cool. So I think I want to make it a bit bigger so people can see. So maybe it's like, this is the wheel. So now we need like little box versions of ourselves over here. Let's see. So I want to come over here into, actually, I think I can just turn these ones back on and then just shrink the size of them. Let's try that. So over here in the overlays menu, I can see this one. If I turn this one back on. Oh, this one over here. Let's put this back here. All right, so let's guess one. Maybe we just make ourselves small. So there's 5 of us total are going to be on the show. So again, if I hold the option key down, I can do, so that's 2, 3. Maybe we can get rid of him. He doesn't need to be here for now. 4 and 5. I'll give a little bit of space between them. Whoop. It's about how perfectionist-y does Katie want to be today. All right, there we go. And then I'm going to again come up here, and that's fine. So that'll be guest 1. That'll be camera A, which is me. Actually, let me put myself down at the bottom. It's not about me. All right, guest 2. Guest 3. Guest 4. And camera A is me. Camera A. Cool. Okay, so that's me. Oh, wait. Have I counted this correctly? It's me, Nat. Yeah, 5 of us total. Yeah, so there we go. Okay, so that works. So it's a wheel of wonder, and so I can come in here, and I can just turn this on, and I can spin the wheel. Boop, 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 boop. I don't hear any sound effects, though. I might have to look up that. What is the best movie sequel? Oh, what do you guys think? The best movie sequel? That's a tough one. I feel like it might be a Star Wars. Anyway, if you're hanging out, drop your feelings in. More than happy to hear them. And if you're, excuse me, if you're just joining me now, I am live streaming for the next maybe like a couple of minutes here. I think I'm basically finished up, but I am participating in Pat Flynn and SPI and Ecamm's live streaming challenge. So we're going live every single day for 7 days, which I do a lot of more or less anyway these days, but I thought I would just do an impromptu one to fill in some of the gaps. So open to any questions. And if you're hanging out later, oh, this is why sound effects are off. Let's try again. If you're hanging out live, you can ask any questions. And if I don't get to them live, I'm more than happy to answer them later. So drop them in. There's our sound effects. And I'm just realizing, what song are you belting out loud in the car? Oh my gosh, so many of them. I'm just realizing that I actually can't see them on, darn it, on Oh my goodness. Well, hi to Florence if you're still hanging out here. I just realized that LinkedIn does not yet give us comment integration here in Ecamm. So I'm sorry, Florence. I did not see your comment coming through. But hello, hello. Hopefully, at one point, we'll get access to that. So that's actually a good reminder for me. I don't normally go live on LinkedIn. Um, because I'm annoyed that they won't let us have comment integration yet at Ecamm. So what you would need to do if you're doing what I'm doing right now and you're multi-streaming, I'm going out to a few different places. I'm heading out to right now my YouTube channel, my Facebook page, and then LinkedIn. And I see two people are hanging out with me on LinkedIn right now. And if you are on LinkedIn, you can't, like, unfortunately, they just didn't give us access to be able to get those comments pulled into Ecamm. So you can see Tristan and Jeff here on Facebook, and then anyone on YouTube could leave a comment easily. But LinkedIn, sad face, unfortunately does not let us leave comments. I'm just going to do a test comment over here. This is my first time streaming to this page. Look how cool it looks. Love it. All right, so that's me. You can see the YouTube icon coming in versus the Facebook icon. So there's the difference. It's one unified chat with the exception of LinkedIn. Wah, wah. Wah, wah. All right, so before I head out, I'm going to do one test run all the way through these scenes so you can take a look. I'm not done all of them yet, but we can just take a look here quickly. So that one needs my new movie cover because we're doing A League of Their Own. So not Shakespeare in Love, A League of Their Own. And then it's going to be me and all my co-host people here. I probably going to put the movie cover up here so that there's just something here, but I can add that in later. And then we're going to come into the Wheel of Wonder scene. And then I'm going to have to come over here and scroll. Looks like back to find the Wheel of Wonder. So it's not going to save that spot. So I'll just have to make sure that that's all queued up and ready to go. That's good to know, though. And then I'm going to pop over here into our reviews. Sound effects are working good. Kind of feel like maybe we want to put like one more over here. Kind of like stagger these guys around. Great. And then they look good over there. And then, yeah, final scenes. That should be about it for the show. That saves me some time later this week. All right, friends. Well, I'm going to call it a day. Looks like I managed to stand for almost half an hour, which is pretty good for me. I normally don't do these things alone. So I'm going to give myself props for this. See how I show up tomorrow. But if you have been wanting to get into the live streaming space or live streaming is scary or intimidating, please let me know. I'm here to help in any way that I can. I'm happy to talk through any of the things that I tried to get more comfortable in this space. And doing these kinds of challenges, like a 7-day challenge, is a really great way to just put in the reps. It wasn't all that scary. I didn't break anything just by pushing buttons. All I did was chat through and hang out with people. So I really would encourage you to give it a try. And look, no one is on right now. And it's okay because people will catch this later on the replay and they'll leave questions and comments. So getting into the habit of understanding how live streaming works, when to say certain things, how to engage with the audience, all of it just takes practice. And there's no better way to do it than just doing it. So this is a great challenge. I'm really excited to be part of it. And I can't wait to see what everyone else creates. I'm going to jump off and I'm going to share this link into the Ecamm Facebook group so everyone can see what I've been up to. And I'm excited to watch all of your streams as well. Hope to catch you tomorrow. As I said, keep those questions coming. And thank you so much for all the support. And I'll share some more favorite features tomorrow. But hopefully dual mode is now something that's exciting for you. And scenes in the new visual way. Hopefully that's also something that you can give a try on. But I will see you all in the next stream. Bye, everyone.